Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Human Training Your Dog is Begging You For podcast. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their behaviors, you've come to the right place. I'm Charles Countryman, joined by my wife, Laura. We are the co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training here in Dallas. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
And as always, we have a senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So if you are struggling with training or behavioral or emotional issues, that is really the focus and the point of why we do the podcast. Our goal is to help you understand your dog better, learn more about creating behaviors that you'd like to see more, hopefully replace some of those behaviors you'd like to see less, and have help you basically have a dog that's a joy to live with. And on today's episode, guys, we are going to be talking about leadership and advocating for your dog.
Yay.
Yeah.
I don't think hardly anybody understands this. I don't think they understand how important
How important it is. Important.
They know leadership, but they don't understand what that looks like, what that means, and how utterly important that is.
Yeah.
So, give a good example. Yesterday morning, first thing, somebody's bringing in a dog to drop off for their second week of board and train, because our dogs go home on the weekends and do homework assignments with their families. And then they give us feedback on how, everything went each weekend. But that dog was just finishing up its first 5 days of training, Monday through Friday. And it's dog reactive, not ridiculously dog reactive, but it is, slightly dog reactive.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason they brought him in. And the mom commented when she was dropping it off how the weekend went. And then she went on to say, and I overheard this, and then I took him to Petco or some pet store, and she saw somebody she knew that had a recent dog. They just got the dog. And I believe it was a rescue, an adult dog. And she said, "Oh, so I thought it would be a great opportunity for my dog to meet his dog." Well, they're in training for reactivity. Until that's been addressed and resolved, you shouldn't be letting your dog meet any dog.
That is very true.
Certainly not in a retail environment.
That's very true.
You have no control over that.
And certainly not with someone that just has a new dog. They have no idea about this dog.
Yeah, they don't know any of the backstory about their dog, and really maybe they don't like bull terriers, and you have a bull terrier, but every other dog they like. You don't know your dog yet.
Yeah.
So she then proceeds to say, "Yes, I walked up and let my dog meet their dog, and they were licking each other's face for a minute, and then my dog snapped at him." And I'm thinking, I saw that a mile away. Before you told me your dog snapped, I knew your dog was going to snap.
Yeah.
Because you weren't being a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Utter drop the ball on leadership.
Yes.
Because you're telling your dog when that happens, fend for yourself, buddy. I'm going to put you in some real uncomfortable scenarios, and I'm going to require you to have more common sense than me. That's not how toddlers work. That's certainly not how a dog works. For a dog to not be reactive in those scenarios, we don't put them in those scenarios.
Yep.
If my dog's reactive, I don't let him meet dogs.
Especially not like that.
We have all friendly dogs. I don't go up in a pet store and let my dog lick another dog's face as soon as we meet.
No.
That's bad dog etiquette 101.
Yes.
Just because your dog's friendly and likes to meet dogs does not mean the dog on the other end of the leash wants to meet your dog like that.
Yeah.
So that's how dog fights happen. That's how people get bit. Dogs get bit. People's dogs need to trust that you are not going to set them up for failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That if they're in a scenario, you have kind of vetted the scenario and they know, hey, this is a safe and secure scenario, or my mom or dad wouldn't let me be here right now. My leader wouldn't let me be in this scenario if I wasn't safe. If they start feeling that you're throwing them into unsafe environments, they're going to be ready to defend themselves and handle the situation, because they know you won't.
Yeah.
They know you can't, because they know you just put them in a scenario they weren't ready for.
Yeah.
That's leadership. You are demonstrating through your wise decisions of what your dog can and cannot handle
Yeah.
that you are thinking on their behalf, and then your dog quits thinking about that so much because they know you won't put them in that scenario.
Yeah.
That's leadership.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is very much leadership.
What's another feedback on that?
Do you want to go into how she should have done that, or?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
What should
Well,
she have
first of
done?
all, she should never let her dog meet another dog yet. She's not ready.
Especially since she's still in training.
Yes.
Penelope.
That's Penelope. She's a bull terrier.
We have a bull terrier in the office with us that's in training, and you just heard her bark a little bit.
But so if your dog is ready to meet another dog, face-to-face meeting is horrible.
Yes.
Because dogs, they should have learned that they should go to the rear end and smell. That's how proper dogs that are balanced dogs, usually that's how they smell. Face-to-face, the licking.
Smelling the butt's like a human handshake.
Yes. So licking the face can be a submissive dog, and some dogs hate it to be licked in the face because it is more of a submissive. It's a very submissive act, and some dogs do not want to be face-to-face.
Yeah,
and they have eye contact.
I would go with the assumption most dogs don't. So now you're safer.
Yeah. And then you have eye contact, which can turn a dog. You think they're really friendly, and there's something that happens in those eyes to each other turns the dog to say, "I don't like you now. I'm going to fight you."
Right.
Because you don't know what they're thinking.
You don't know.
You have no idea.
Let them meet each other's butts.
Yes, and walk in front, walk
because
behind.
Now the head is on the other end.
Yes.
You're less likely to have it. And don't let them sit there forever.
No.
Sniffing and sniffing and sniffing and getting a little too personal.
Yeah.
Just quick sniff, good, and walk away. And break the
eye contact, body language. You should learn how to read dogs' body language.
Oh, yeah. So I forgot to say this. She said, but my dog was wagging his tail the whole time.
Not correct.
Nothing.
So if you are, I think a lot of people misunderstand a wagging tail. So many people get bit by a dog wagging the tail while they bite you.
Because that is.
It's just means your dog's in a excited state of arousal. It doesn't mean I am friendly.
No. A lot of times it does not mean that either.
Even if it did mean the dog was happy, some dogs like to fight.
That's true.
Yeah, they like to fight people.
Yeah.
They like to bite other dogs.
Really look at the tail wag, because when you're seeing a dog tail wag, all wags are not different. They're not the same, right? Is it a stiff wag? Is it a low wag? A high wag? A curled wag?
Yeah.
Just a little flicking. That's not a happy dog. If the tail is like flicking really rapidly left to right, and it's not a lot of curling, your dog is really stressed.
Very stressed. And you need to look at, there's so much, dogs talk a lot with their bodies, what their tongue doing, what their face is doing, what their legs are doing, how stiff they are, it's a lot. There's a lot to go into
and it
dogs.
Also depends on breed too.
Yeah.
Like my Pickles, if his tail's sticking up or very reactive to something.
Yeah.
It's pretty down most time where it's wagging, but if it's curled up,
if it's relaxed,
above his butt,
kind of just relaxed. Yeah. That's a good point. If you don't know all of your dog's idiosyncrasies of their body language, you are not ready to let your dog meet another person or a dog because you don't know how they're feeling.
Yeah,
you should know. Oh, and my dog's tail's like this. They are like X. If my dog's on a leash and his tail's like this, on leash, off leash, body behavior changes. So you need to memorize. You need to genuinely know
your dog
by looking at your dog's position and body posture, what state of mind they're in. If you don't know that, don't meet anybody.
Yeah,
because realistically, in those situations, you got to be very proactive about it.
Yes.
Right.
If you're waiting till they're both fixating in each other and locked up,
you've already
the first person that's going to pull their dog away, the other dog's going to lunge
probably going to create a reaction. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
You're looking to prevent any reactions, not treat them after they happened.
Yeah.
If it happened, you put your dog in a scenario they were not ready for, and that's your fault, not your dog's fault.
And the problem with that is now your dog has gone over threshold. Now your dog has learned what they can do to get away because we probably left.
Right.
So everything about the whole situation.
So that basically reinforced that's a good behavior, because when I snapped at that dog,
we left.
All the dog disappeared and we left. So hey, that works. I'm going to do that again.
More.
And so you inadvertently reinforce the behavior you're trying to make go away.
That's why dog parks are horrifying.
Yeah.
Because you put so much work. If you do put so much work and hours and all this stuff in your dogs, one dog fight can just erase so many years
of
training and
socialization, communication skills. Not, I mean, think about it. In Dallas, there's roughly, I don't know, probably $1.2 to $1.5 million in the Dallas metroplex, the whole, between, the whole area. That's a lot of dogs. So if you go to a dog park, if everybody took their dog to a dog park, then every dog park you go to, there'd probably be 1,000 to 2,000 dogs in that dog park.
Okay.
And this is just me making up numbers, but it would be a hell of a lot.
A lot of doggies.
When you go to a dog park, there's usually 4 to 20.
Yeah.
So that means most people don't take their dogs to dog parks.
That's right.
Yep.
And unfortunately, a lot of people that do take their dogs to dog parks don't realize their dog doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's like taking a first grader to a first day of school, dumping them off in the playground, say, I'll see you tonight, and leaving.
Yeah.
They're intimidated. They're nervous. They're uncomfortable. You pick them up, ask them how the day went. Oh, good. And then, or bad. And then you do it again. But next week you take them to a new school. You keep making them go to new schools every week.
Yeah.
They're always feeling uncomfortable because they never get to just meet a little kid or two and develop a bond and a relationship and start playing. Now I know most people tend to go to the same dog park, but you cannot, it's not a class.
You don't know what dog.
Everybody's not signed up to be at, first grade this week.
Yeah.
So the dogs that come are going to vary. So there's always a little bit of stranger danger. There's always, oh man, I don't feel comfortable because the dog that I bonded with last week ain't here. Dog parks are just, man, that's why I call them fight clubs.
They're bad.
You could have that social butterfly and you're like, man, my dog loves this. That's great. But find a dog or two that they can have play dates
and
with.
Get their phone number and have play dates.
And then meet at the dog park.
Yes.
So now, a lot of dog parks have 2 or 3 areas. And then you're monitoring, hey, there's some rowdy guys here and maybe we should go to a different area. Figure something out. Make it an enjoyable play time.
For your dog.
And unfortunately, a lot of people do bring their dogs to dog parks. Their dog genuinely does not enjoy it. Does not mean they have a bad dog. Just means he doesn't have good it's either they don't enjoy it and the owner thinks they do, or they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And the owner ain't teaching them how to do it. So now he's running around being a gangster. Does not make him a bad dog. Nope. It makes him an untrained dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
There's just no social skills.
Training isn't always about obedience.
No,
in fact,
it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Like we always say, obedience is just a foundation we use to teach dogs how to communicate with us so we can teach them more advanced concepts.
Yeah. Just to be a good dog you could take places and
just
not be psycho. Like Miss Penelope.
What's something else that she could have done differently or should not have done?
Well, not at a pet store.
She shouldn't have done any of it.
The first weekend, she should have stayed home and done homework.
Yes.
Take her dog for a dog walk. Test all that stuff out, but don't test the social skills yet.
Yes.
We're building on that.
Realistically, she made several mistakes in a row that added up to a bad. Luckily, it didn't turn into a dog fight or anything.
Right. It was just in that. But even no crime, no foul. The other guy said, "Hey, no problem."
If any issues like that happen, you got to really think about yourself. Because you usually made multiple mistakes in a row for something like that to happen. No one communicated that she could be reactive.
Right.
We were at a PetSmart. The dog was still in training. There was a lot of variables that they just kind of rolled the dice.
That's the problem. There's too many variables, and that means I don't have control of the variables, so I can't guarantee the outcome I'm going to have with my dog, so I'm not going to take my dog in there.
So what she should have done is if she had the dog there, have the dog in a sit or down and tell him my dog's in training. We're going to talk, and the dogs are not going to meet.
Yeah,
that'd been
that's
really
what she
good.
should have. She should have taught the dog how to be calm
around a dog
and ignore the other person and dog.
And she should have treats on her or whatever reward the dog every once in a while while it's being good.
Yeah,
you reward what you want to see more of.
Instead of correcting the snap.
Yes. So then the dog's looking at her like she's the cool person. She's not letting this dog get next to her, and I'm getting rewarded because I'm being a good boy. So what she should have.
That's what she absolutely 100% should have done. Is use it as a training experience. I'm going to show you how to be in the presence of other dogs and just ignore them. That's way more valuable than teaching my dog how to meet a dog. Because if you get if someone gets that down, then meeting a dog is fairly easy because now your dog trusts you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm always trying to force my dog to meet somebody they're like, oh God, crazy dad's at it again. He's going to force me to meet this dude. And I wish I could tell him I don't want to meet this dude.
Yeah. Well, he knows how to tell you, I'm going to bite the dog.
So he is telling you, he's snapping, he's growling, his body language is screaming at you. Stop, please don't drop me off at school again.
One thing we do here a lot is greeting manners for dogs to people.
Right.
Because some dogs don't want to greet people, and we do not force dogs to meet anybody. They do not want to, because they are living creatures, and sometimes they don't want to meet people.
I don't want to meet everybody. Nobody does.
Yeah. Well, I would say that whole problem, a lot of reactive dogs, especially if you own the dog its whole life, it's a symptom of the owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of dogs, it's not that they hate dogs or they don't like their parent. It's I don't think you can handle this situation, so I need to step in and do it.
I need to be ready to handle whatever comes my way myself.
Not even ready. I'm going to step in front of you like a German Shepherd and guard you from this dog, because it might not be a stranger danger. I'm panicking. I don't like dogs. It's I'm going to try and save my dad's life.
Yeah. So now we have some guarding issues. Yeah. But again, even with that type of dog, if your dog truly knows you're the leader and take care of these things,
that never happens.
That really don't happen. They know, hey, we're on a walk. I just enjoy the walk. My family takes care of the other crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some dogs are not going to be social butterflies, and you can't make them be. It's like some
and you
kids
shouldn't.
You shouldn't make them be.
Yes.
I am not a social butterfly.
I am not a social butterfly.
Are you? Yeah, you're kind of.
You're more than us.
Yeah, way more than us. But
sure.
Really, most people are not social
No, they just have their people, and that's it.
Yeah, we have a select group of people we hang out with, let our guard down, and be
like my 9-year-old boxer pit. She's got like 5 dog friends.
Yeah.
That she's friends with, and about 4 more she tolerates, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
She has no want or desire for more.
She's good.
Yeah.
Or George, but George does not. He does not dislike dogs, but he's not a dog. He's never been. Let's go play with dogs.
Yeah, he is about puppies though.
He likes the
puppies. He loves puppies for some reason. He's a freak because most adult dogs aren't
especially male.
Really great into puppies because puppies bite so hard. But George actually likes
and
puppies.
They're annoying. They don't stop.
Yeah,
they're just incessant little kids.
So if you're out with your dog, you should not allow people to come up to your dog ever.
Right.
Even George, 10.5 years old, he trusts us. He'll trust us so much we can have him sit and a dog trying to kill him, and he's looking at us like, okay,
how should I react? Or,
should I be? He just doesn't.
He's just like waiting for us to handle it.
So it's not like I'm afraid of him doing anything, but it's his choice to go up to meet people.
Right.
And I advocate for him all the time. I will step in front of dogs when dogs come up to him, because it's not appropriate.
Think about
if you had a little kid. You don't let some 6-foot man come up and just start petting your kid.
Yeah.
Your toddler,
and go
on
hug
the head,
your kid.
Hug your kid. Pick your kid up.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Actually, that's a better point of view. We don't let strangers go up and grab our 4-year-old and pick him up and hug him.
Nope.
On the street.
We would slap him across.
That's basically what a stranger is doing to your dog.
Yes.
They're in their utter intimate personal space, manhandling their head.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. And you're letting them.
You don't let anyone do that. Toddler, don't let anyone do that to your dog. Let your dog warm up. And I just say, let your dog decide if they want to meet the people. And then make sure the person wants to be met or the dog wants to be met. You always ask, can my dog meet your dog? Nah, my dog's not really into dogs. Okay, cool. He won't meet.
Yeah.
She did not do that.
No, she did not do anything correctly.
Talking to her, the guy probably would have said yes, because they both made huge mistakes in that scenario.
But she should have just.
But she missed a great training opportunity that you mentioned, Laura, and that is, you're not there to meet dogs. You're there to sit in the presence of other dogs.
Yeah. And we send home.
Just enjoy the world. And
we send home, it's a book, but it has a homework and a whole bunch of other stuff. And one of them is how to take your dog on field trips while they're in training.
Right.
And it's very detailed, and it's not let people go up to your dog.
And we're not saying don't let your dog meet people.
Yes. Yeah. But in training.
First, you got to know the body language of your dog.
we're saying that if you want your dog to meet someone, you got to let them decide if they want to meet that person.
And then make sure the person is okay with it.
Yes.
Or the person's okay if your dog meets their dog.
Yeah.
Always ask.
You need to ask. But also, if your dog says no, you just don't.
Europe has hardly any of these issues because in European countries, dogs go virtually everywhere with their people. And everybody treats them like a service dog. Nobody goes up and just accosts
a dog.
Pets somebody's dog. You treat it like it's a service dog. May I pet your dog?
Yeah.
And most dogs their dogs are just like ours. They don't love everyone.
Yep, that's very true.
I mean, there's no difference in temperament and personality and behavioral and emotional issues from one continent to the other. Golly, I had a thought that
I did too, and I don't remember what it is either.
Oh shoot! Advocate. I can't remember. All right, empty space there.
Yeah.
Okay, so know your dog's body language. Oh, here it was.
Okay.
Some stranger coming up and grabbing your kid and hugging them.
Oh,
you're not going to allow that. Think of it from the other perspective. If you don't have any kids, or just even if you do, it's a great analogy. If Penelope,
leave it.
Come here.
Good girl.
Nope.
Come here.
Good girl. You would. Doggone, she interrupt my train of thought. Oh, if I went around every day for 1 month and every human I met, I hugged immediately. First thing, I didn't shake their hand. I didn't say hi. I just ran up and hugged them. Somebody, I'm not even going to make it. I'm not even going to make it a month. They're going to poke me in the nose. I'm going to get punched in the nose by somebody that didn't like that. That's your dog. Eventually, everybody continually meeting your dog and they weren't ready for it. Your dog's going to punch them in the nose. They're going to nip or bite.
Yeah. Well, eventually you're going to meet someone that isn't nice.
Yeah.
You roll the odds every time your dog meets another dog. And if you vet them correctly and you communicate with the other human, you can correctly identify a dog that won't go well with your dog. And it might not be that either dog aren't nice, but like my husky pit is way too energetic and dominant for a lot of dogs.
Penelope.
And if he finds another dog that, really wants to play hard or kind of matching energy with him, then it'll be a lot better. But you got to really know your dog and ask a lot of good vetting questions to make sure the interaction is healthy, works well, and there's not a fight. Because even two nice dogs can get in a dog fight on accident. Or two nice dogs are having a good time, then another dog can set them up for failure too. It's another reason why dog parks are a little sketchy.
So,
and then there's a better way for dogs to be introduced to each other. It won't be in a store. Or your house.
You typically don't want a confined space.
No.
You want them to feel like they have options.
Yes.
And when it's a confined space, you've eliminated most of their options because they're also on a leash. So they can't flight. Yeah. All they have left really on the table is fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dogs are like us, fight or flight.
Good.
And you've taken half the options away.
Scary part is there is a point of I either have a really long line, which is the safest way, or you got to let your dog off that leash because when they play, they run away and they come back.
But that's after you know that the dogs are good.
You just got to get knowing them when your dog's on a leash, they're way more prone to be reactive.
How people should really look at leadership is practice the behaviors you want to see more. Let your dog know. Practice without making mistakes. So go to a lot of neutral and common areas that you're always going to be. So that way you can get really good at leadership in easy environments. Cheat. Make it easy to win.
Well, the other way to cheat and win, especially if you has from a puppy, is do this young. Socialize your dog young.
If it's a rescue and 3 years old, you lost that. But still, get out there, make it easy.
Yeah.
Limit the distractions. What you're really doing is showing the dog this is how we do things.
Yep.
Now you start upping the level of distractions a little bit. And again, if you go to a store, that's great, but don't let them eat. I mean, there's more value in your dog ignoring people and dogs than there is in meeting people and dogs. Way more value because that's a dog that can go to a restaurant. because he knows to ignore the dog at the other table that's laying down.
Yeah.
This is not a park. If you never spent the time to teach him the value of ignoring, you're probably going to struggle going to a patio restaurant, or you're never going to go to one because they're going to kick you out.
Because that's what people do wrong, is they always let their dog always play with another dog.
Yeah.
And if that is, dog never learns not to do that.
And if you live in an apartment, well, you know what? That's not in the elevator is probably not a great place to play, especially if the next dog coming in on floor 7 didn't want any part of it.
Yes.
Where are you going to go?
One of the things I tell a lot of people is our end goal is we're not making robot dogs here. We make dogs that make really good decisions consistently, so you don't have to micromanage them.
Because they have a pattern of decisions to base their decision on.
There are some decisions we do not want them to ever make, and who to meet and who to greet.
Right. We'll let that. We make that decision.
If it's like, hey, you ignore people, and then I'll say, hey, go say hi. And if they say no, then that's
you need a command for that.
Yes.
And we say, go say hi. If we haven't said go say hi, don't go say hi.
Yeah. And then we also have break. Markers are amazing. So we have breaks. So the dog is now free to go play with the other dog.
Right.
So dogs should always be under command. But if you're out and about, your dog probably should be.
That one's hard. It took me about 2 months to really instill into Pickles, my husky pit, that you saying hi is not off the leash, wild town, be a hellion with this dog. No, you're doing calm meet and greet stuff. And if I think it's a good fit, then I'll say break. And then the dog.
Then I said break. So now you go dog.
Yes.
Right. But that's a progression. You just don't say, hey, they met. They look like they love each other. Break. No. We don't really know yet.
Just because I met someone I like does not mean I want to spend a night at their house.
Practice. Good leadership skills where you don't really need it.
Yep.
In your house, your backyard, the community you naturally live in with limited distractions. So that way you're really showing the dog, see, if I'm on the leash and I'm with you, I've got crap handle for you. You don't need to be worrying about anything. Then you start stepping it up and adding a few more distractions. More value in not meeting a dog or a person than there is in meeting a dog. Yeah. If you want them to meet, they meet under command. Go say hi. They don't make the decision for you.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was helpful. That is so important.
Yes.
That's more important than sit. That's more important than lay down. That's more important than this subject's more important than most commands.
Especially if you have that 3-year-old rescue that isn't perfect, that you couldn't mold from a puppy. You really got to take it slow and really set them up for success. And it might take 2 years for your dog to ever really meet.
Some dogs really have an underlying emotional quadrant or issue that
some serious
it takes them a while to work all those things out. I mean, it takes a long time for humans to work some crap out.
Oh, yeah. But once your dog trusts you and know you're going to step in front and not allow something to happen to him, your dog's amazing. Your dog will be with you. You don't.
People are going to start commenting. I wish my dog was like that.
Yeah.
It's because you did the hard work.
Yes.
Of showing them.
Yes.
Look at me. I'll let you know how I want you to respond.
Yes. That's the biggest thing is people, the dog paying attention to you. Not 100% of the time, but they always are checking in.
Yeah.
And to get that,
well, it's the flashy, like Abby and George do it, where they'll be sitting on a cot looking at us, and the dog will lunge within 6 inches of them, and I'm like, dude, you should probably get off the cot.
They're just committed. They just know we're not going to allow it.
Yeah.
Like me as a dog,
it shocks me every time George
I would not be upset if you moved away from that dog.
Obviously, it doesn't happen often, but we train. Dog reactive and human reactive dogs here, they need to be around calm dogs so they can see the right behavior. Like George will kind of eyeball them and go, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then the dog's
crazy
like,
level of trust. You just won't get me.
They're very helpful in letting dogs have a better, calmer personality.
But that takes years. See our
George is 10.
George is 10. They want this dog. Well, put the work in and you will have this dog.
Yeah.
Anyone could have amazing dogs. They just have to put the work in.
If you see a dog trainer with an amazing dog, there's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. There's so much time that's been put into that dog.
So just remember, your dog's not really mature until they're 2 or 3 years old. So don't expect maturity till then. Yep. But you just got to put the work in.
Well, and like humans, your dog had some traumatic event. It could be put back a couple years in its
it's going to be a longer journey that your dog is on.
But it's a fun journey.
Yeah.
You got a dog, it's fun.
So until next week, go have fun with your dog.